On this episode of the Power Up with Keith Withrow show, we have our very own actorpreneur, Stanley Aughtry.
You've probably seen this cat and you're trying to figure out where he saw him from. Batman, the Black Panther. And right now, he's doing The Average Joe on the Netflix series. With no further ado, it's my man, Big Stan Aughtry. What's up, big dog?
Good to be
Welcome
here, man.
to the show, man.
Thank you, I appreciate it. So at the end of the day, if you keep asking to be hired, you'll never really feel like you're getting the value that you feel like you're bringing.
Hello, everybody. I'm Keith Withrow, and welcome to the Power Up with Keith Withrow talk show. We got some real good content coming for you today, man. We got one for you. And I want y'all to tune in, like, subscribe, help support us on the channel. And we told you we're coming back with some good content, so here we go. Today I have with me a very unique individual. You've seen him before on our other platform, Power Up Roundtable on the Power Up Man platform. This guy's a friend of mine. He's very, very laid back, not a man of many words, but a man of definite substance. This guy is a former athlete at Hampton University. He's a businessman. He's a really good a person just to have in your life. He's an actor. He's just a well-rounded cat. He's the kind of guy that you need in your corner that steps up to the plate and makes things happen. With no further ado, it's my man, Big Stan Aughtry. What's up, big dog?
Good to be
Welcome
here, man.
to the show, man.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna get down. If everybody knows, if you've seen this before, we like to talk about the things that a lot of people don't talk about. We like to talk about the comeback. We want to talk about what motivates guys to move forward in their life, to take the chances, to put it out there, to take the risks, to lay it all on the line, to go deep, fish in the deep water where it's deep and where it's dangerous, and you may not come back home.
That's right.
That's why I like to fish, and I love cats that think like me, who take the risk and take care of the business. So I'm gonna start off by just asking you, man, how you doing and what's going on in the world of Big Stan?
I'm doing well, blessed. Of course, with everything coming off of our pandemic that went on, I sit in a position where I'm really grateful. And the gratitude just goes without saying, just seeing how God has pretty much came in from that moment and just expanded in my life the way he wanted to. And so at this point, just truly living out his palm, whatever he wants, let's try it, let's do it, and really seeing how he lays things out. So I can't complain at all with that.
Now, I'm ashamed to even say this, but the most important thing and the biggest accolade I can give Stan is this cat's really a man of God. Mm-hmm. Like, he's a true believer. And he rolls with the faith that I talk about all the time. He's that cat that operates very much like myself. So I did mention he's an actor, but I didn't mention some of the features and movies that he's been an actor in. Batman. He's been in the Black Panther. And right now, he's doing The Average Joe.
Yeah, on Netflix.
On the Netflix series. Yes. So you've probably seen this cat and you're trying to figure out where he saw him from. But guess what? He is right here. So what I want to get to where the rubber meets the road is, here you are. You go to school. You're a very good athlete. See his hardware right there to prove it. Yep. You go to school, and then you get into the business world, well, in the corporate world. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about how it happened, how your life started, a little bit of background. And I didn't add this either. He's from Goldsboro, North Carolina,
That's right.
and that's where my mom's family's from. So I really think this cat's probably my cousin.
I'm pretty sure I am.
Yeah, not very many people from Goldsboro. They're not related some kind of way.
That's right.
So anyway, with that, man, tell me a little bit about how everything got started.
So I get to start from the beginning?
Hey, wherever you want to start, man.
Okay.
Show, bro.
So I was born in Washington, D.C. Father got the same name as me, Stanley Aughtry Sr. He actually was a blind man. And then my mom had to move back to Goldsboro area when I was about 10 months old because her mom was ill and starting to pass away. So my grandmother passed away at 10 months old. So from that point, I was pretty much raised there because my mom took in my grandfather. And my father didn't want to move from D.C. So he stayed in D.C. So every summer I was in D.C., but all school year I'd be in Goldsboro. Oh, wow. But so basically growing up there, and as folks would say, single family, single mother at that particular time, living in the projects at that particular time. Definitely had all the innuendos of what they say happens in the hood. Got friends that selling drugs or doing bad or skipping school. But I was one of those kids that went to school, did well in school, did well in sports, did well in music, which I credit my father for the music because he also was a musician too. Wow. But I had the right friends around me that they were doing a lot of the same things. One of them in particular, David Thornton, he's a coach right now for the Indianapolis Colts, but he played for them, played for the Tennessee Titans. Okay. But we grew up like this, so anything he did, I was doing, and vice versa. Anything I was doing, he was doing. So we pretty much kept each other accountable throughout, probably from 2nd, 3rd grade all the way through 12th grade. Oh, wow. So he went on to play at UNC. I went on to go to Hampton on scholarship. And from there, again, found some more good guys to be around. And was able to win the championships that you see on my fingers now. Major in electrical engineering, come out with that. Come out in the corporate world, be able to do that for a while. But along that path, when I got out of college, I started realizing like, man, the time management that it took to play football, do your engineering thing, you're busy pretty much from 4:30 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. every day as a student. Right. So when I come out into the real world and I'm just doing corporate America for a while, I'm like, I still got plenty of time to kind of be productive. Right. So that's when I started looking for different things, whether I was modeling, whether I started building out my businesses and stuff like that. But that's when one of my friends actually was working on The Dark Knight, the Batman film. Right. Sent out something to me, which I didn't take it for myself. I thought she was trying to have me send it to other people that I may have known. So I sent it out to other people, not knowing that they sent some information in on me. And that was the first call that I received to kind of come in and do any kind of casting for acting per se. Right. And they pretty much took my modeling information and used it. And when I went in, I was able to perform, do a little audition. It just so happened to be that I wasn't busy at the time when the casting director called, and she booked me. Wow. And she was like, hey, are you available these dates? And at that time, I didn't know if I would be because I'm still working my corporate job as a manager. Right. And I just told her, yeah, I think I can work that out. Yeah. And I went back into work, and lo and behold, every time that I needed to be on set for Dark Knight, it did not conflict with my day job. I just wonder how that happened. Yeah, it didn't conflict. I think there was only one day that I had to leave maybe a little early, and again, everything worked out. And mind you, my corporate work was railroad affiliated, so it was kind of one of those situations where any emergency can happen, a derailment or anything, and I need to be responsive. And being on set, you can be on set for 12 to 20 hours sometimes. So anytime from being there, luckily the phone didn't ring, and I didn't need it. And a lot of times when we're on set, we put the phone to the side. We just go on set and do our thing. So which was risky. Yeah. But for me, it turned out well. And even still, I didn't catch what God all was doing yet, except for the fact that there was times when I would do a scene and there'll be other people that's been doing this for 20 years, 30 years. And I'm raw. I haven't taken any training yet. I'm literally coming in here learning on the job.
Right.
And here I am being put in certain scenes that's more centered around me and what I'm doing versus the people that's been putting in a certain amount of time. And again, even still, when it was all said and done, I didn't tell too many people because I didn't know what was going to happen.
Right.
And when the movie came out, I didn't rush to come to the screening to go see it or anything. I let the audience go see it. And I got a call from Goldsboro, from a friend from Goldsboro, who was like, "Hey, were you in the Batman movie?" And I said, "Oh yeah, what was I doing?" And so they told me, and I was like, "Wow," because our movies such as that is 2.5 hours long. Right. And I'm thinking the scenes that I did could have been,
cut them out.
Yeah, could have been on a chopping block.
Yeah, wouldn't have seen the light of day.
Right, and so in order to go see myself in it, and to see that when they kind of went in a micro on my set, to make sure that I was seen clearly in the scenes that I was in and cut out a lot of the people I did the scene with, it put a little bug in me. It let me know that, okay, there's something to it, and there's something to it that I'm doing that I didn't put there, that God put there. So it's not something necessarily that I went out, earned, knew what I was doing, but it's something that's already in me. Gift. That I need to use. And the cool thing about that was I still was doing my engineering thing, took a promotion, moved to Pittsburgh. The second Batman movie right after that, guess where they shot it at?
Not in Pittsburgh.
They came to Pittsburgh and shot it. I got rebooked. Didn't have to travel to it because it's down the street.
Wow.
Still get to keep my engineering work, still get to go on set, being the next Batman. And literally throughout my career, majority of my biggest credits of films, I can tell you God-led stories into how things happen, into how I got into that role and that position, into some of the challenges that was in the downtime that no one knew about.
Right.
But casting didn't call me. The director didn't need me at that time. But if they did, I wouldn't have been prepared. I wouldn't have been available. My body was down and out. And story after story, it'll come where by the time they needed me, my body was ready. I was available. My day job worked with me schedule-wise to make sure that, I could still do this at home with my engineering thing and still go on set, and my business is doing well. So I literally can be on set on days and be like, every different facet that I'm in is being productive right now.
While you on set?
While I'm on set. So the engineering world is working, the business world is working, the acting world is working, and we're having a good time, and we're making a good film.
Wow.
So that really started this whole Actorpreneur thought idea, because a lot of times when we're kids and we're doing all the different subject matters that we're learning in math, science, history, English, we're trying to get A's, trying to get B's. Then you have the extracurricular activities of sports or music or chorus.
Right.
And you're trying to do well in that. And then by the time you get to college or go to the military,
right,
you need to kind of just tunnel focus and drop everything out. But in reality, you built the first 18 years of your life trying to be great in a lot of different backgrounds.
That's right.
And some of them you may enjoy, and they may not necessarily meet up again when you're grown.
Right.
But it's still a part of you. So I was like, well, why should I necessarily not pursue parts of me that I felt like I enjoyed when I was younger? I like math and science, so I became an engineer.
Yeah.
I enjoyed playing football, so I kept playing ball.
Right.
I enjoyed being an artist and acting, so why can't I act?
Right.
Do engineering and be a boss and start my business that I can make something that can be a little bit where it don't need me day to day.
Exactly, the machine as I call it.
Yeah, you create the machine and let it run in the background,
right,
have things going all at the same time, and then just have that residual money coming, such that you can go out and still do other things.
And explore. So Stan, was the acting, I know how things start to happen, especially I know a little bit about how Order My Steps. and how the domino, I call it when the domino gets pushed.
Yeah.
And if it's for you, and if you're in your lane that you're supposed to be in, how it, you just kind of start responding to the doors opening.
Correct.
So tell me a little bit about, I know you were doing the modeling and stuff. And when you got that first opportunity from the friend sending you the information, which they had basically sent in your information for the role, but you was just passing it along thinking it was just something just to help, you just want me to help network this opportunity.
Right.
Previous to that, was being an actor like something that you dreamed about? Like, did you dream about when you were in college, or when you were like, is that something that was on your radar that you actually was thinking about pursuing? Or you just kind of like, you just kept getting nudged in that area, and then it basically, that domino got pushed, and then now all you're doing is responding. And because that's what happens usually when the Lord, or when he starts orchestrating things, that's what it has been with me as well. So I understand that.
Yeah.
So is that kind of,
I would say it's the second part of what you said, because I tend to tell my actor friends this now. I can be honest and say it was not something I can say since I was a kid. I always wanted to be this actor or this movie star, whatever the case may be, right? But I knew it was something I could do. And the one actor that came on TV that made me think about it was Martin Lawrence. And he used to be like, this face belong on the tizoo. And I was like, does this face belong on the tizoo? So at the end of the day, I thought about it, but I wasn't set out to pursue it. But I always say, one thing that God blessed me to be able to have confidence in is that anything I put my mind to, I can do with him.
That's right.
So any situation that I step into, I just need to be prepared. Right. So even when that domino happened, I started preparing. And after that domino happened, I started preparing more. And so even as the other films started coming, now the Stanley today is well-trained, well-skilled, and prepared for wherever God takes me in even that industry or a few others, and where a lot of things that I'm doing for the first time. Like I said, I grew up in the projects, but now I own multiple homes.
Right.
My mom didn't get her first car until I was in the 9th grade. I have multiple vehicles. My father was blind, but he also didn't have that stuff either. So when he had his business, it wasn't something that he actually owned. It was something that went from the government being able to help people that were blind be able to have some kind of business or work. Right. So for me to have businesses that I started from the ground up, or franchising some other franchises, these are all things that I'm actually learning at the first time when I try it, without having someone in my family that I can go to and say, how do you do this? Or what way to do this, including graduating or getting an MBA. Like that kind of stuff was first time things in my immediate family. And I'm the one going through the doors. But trusting God with it, because it's not a situation where I've been able to kind of lean on someone to show me. So even now in the acting world, it's not a situation where I'm there and I have a mentor that I can say, well, how do you do this? Or how do you set up your resume? Or how do you take headshots? Everything has been kind of like a little lesson, but God kind of had lined them up, just like you said, that domino, lined them up such that if I took headshots, it was by one of the best headshots people in Atlanta. It's Dwayne Boyd. You know, they know his headshots when they see him. If I'm taking classes, this person who's doing the headshot has great classes at Premier Network Classic, you know. So it's like at the end of the day, that domino happens, but I can truly say like God led those things, because I didn't have the know-how per se, but I'll have the preparation in me to do.
It goes back. You have faith, the opportunities come, but you still have to put in some work.
Correct.
Faith without works is what?
Dead.
I was just having this conversation with somebody the other day, and I was trying to tell them, well, you know, said, well, you know, you just kind of lay back and what's going to be is going to be. That's not what I read, because there's a lot of times I've often said that opportunities come and what's for you is for you. However, you know, when doors come, some doors will open automatically. Like I talked about in the faith video, But then sometimes the door is open, it's unlocked, but you have to turn it.
Right.
And then guess what? Sometimes he may say, kick the door down. So that preparation that you do, you know, that means that goes along with what I say. I believe that as well. I believe that even though opportunities come about, and I think there's a certain path and there's a lane for you, you still have to do your due diligence. You have to operate in excellence. You have to prepare. You have to want to do it, and you got to want to put it, the enthusiasm, the time. If there's something you love, you put time into it. If there's something you want, you're going to put some effort into it.
Yep.
So how do you, this is what I often wonder, like when you get a role, and of course you get the script, you get a chance to look it over, right? How do you like get in the character? How do you prepare for that role? And I also, it's a two-part question. And also, are there certain particular roles that you're drawn to, or that you like, that like come natural to you, that you like are drawn to, and you really, really like it when you see the opportunity to play that kind of role, like an alter ego Stan or something?
That's what I would say. I would say those kind of roles are the ones that either I would enjoy most to be able to play in. Other times, I normally take each character, and by me being a Pisces, I'm able to relate to the fact that there's a part of that character that I can be. I just may choose not to show it, may choose not to do it, but it's not because I'm not capable of being that person.
So what is that? What do you mean by like being a Pisces mean what?
So as a Pisces, we have a little bit of every sign. So every sign that there is in astrology, we have a little piece of everybody.
Okay.
So
I never knew that.
Yeah, so they look at us sometimes like it's chameleons. So we don't really ever feel like a fish out of water when we go into a room. We can observe it, see what's going on, and we can morph into it, or we can decide like this ain't our scene, and we can slide out of it, and nobody even notice like why we made that choice. So with acting, I use that a lot too from my personality, because some things it may seem like, I ain't never seen Stan say that or talk like that. I ain't never seen Stan cock a gun and da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
But I just told you where I grew up. So just because you ain't seen me do it, don't mean that, that don't mean I don't know how. Or I won't go there if I have to, right?
There you
so
go.
At the end of the day, it's like, you don't get to always meet every facet of who I can be. And for some situations, that's good, because some people don't need to see that. Like the football former Stan coming on the field, it's like, well, that guy, he's coming to try to hurt you. I promise you. Like I told my mom this story the other day, and my uncle, I said, I used to pray before every game for God to forgive me, because, and I'd be in tears, because what I would do would be I would picture my mom not being able to eat because she don't have financial support to keep her refrigerator full. And who's stopping me from being able to provide for my mom is that other team. And I'm getting goosebumps again thinking about it, because that's literally what I would say. And I'm not going to let them stop me from taking care of my family.
I get it.
So because our scholarships are really 1 year annually. So it's like, if you don't perform well, I had teammates that didn't show up. We showed up freshman year, 36 freshmen. There was only 7 that graduated with me.
Right.
So you decrease every year.
That's right.
So at the end of the day, it's like, it's that kind of thing. So you still take that same kind of form of understanding like what it takes to do that and perform on a high level, become team captain and win championships, to like, all right, now I got a character. I need to dominate that too. So what do I need to do to become a comedic character, a killer character, a sexy character, a straight character? Now there's some roles that I won't do because I feel like I'm not that good of an actor to do that. And that's just my personal choice.
I get it.
And I'm like, there's people that live that life, just book them. But for me, it's like there's still a wide net of characters and backgrounds that I can pull off, that I can do. Right. And it gives you a chance to take a break from being who you are every day to tap into, say for Average Joe, I get to be Bobby and Average Joe. Right. So I get to tap into him. Or if I'm in another movie and I'm Gary from that one and Gary got a different personality, I get to be Gary. Right. So it's like you just get to take a break from that, show a different side of yourself. But each time it's still a little bit of Stan in each one of those characters. So even though it's a character, there's still a little bit of me.
So Stan, this has got to be difficult right here. Now here you are, not only you're a believer, you know the word, it's not like you play. You really are a true believer, you're a true worshiper, you're a man of God, right?
Right.
In the industry, the entertainment industry, we don't have to go into deep depth, but everybody know the entertainment industry can be very difficult when it comes to a person who's a believer in some of your beliefs, right? And in that industry as a whole, it's so much going on and so much craziness. And as you progress and become more and more successful and get more and more looks, man, what do you see down the road that could be like a problem? Like you get the phone call, you get that phone call and you get that meeting. You know, you get the meeting, you come to the party and there ain't no cars at the party. You know, you go there and, you know, they give you the script. It's just you and a couple other guys there, man, you know. Where's the party at? Where's everybody at? You know. But anyway, you know where I'm going.
I do.
Not just that, but just everything. It's everything. Like the lifestyle, like, you know, the narcotics, the drinking, the partying, the women. You're a nice looking dude. You're a single guy, you're not married, so like, man, have you ever thought about like what that may look like?
Well,
it's already here now, but it's going to get progressively more difficult.
For myself, unfortunately, I think I got a cheat code per se. Only because before I existed, I already had certain prayers that was put on me. I already can tell, because throughout my life, first of all, I had conversations with God at a young age, and everything he talked to me about has been unfolding. So my agreement with him started early. So my mission of what I'm doing started early. So no matter what's in front of me, they can't deter me from the agreement that I gave God and he gave me. But on top of that, certain situations I just wouldn't be able to get in, even if I tried. So by me having an athletic background and playing with football guys, NFL, all this stuff, it's like you've been around girls, you've been around drugs, narcotics.
Right. There's no culture shock.
But I wouldn't be in the situations when a lot of stuff would go down.
You know when to leave together.
Yeah, so it's one of those situations where it's like, even though people hear about, there might be some kind of orgy going on.
Right. In one of the rooms in the mansion.
Stan has never been near a door that went into an orgy. Yeah. It'll always be some other place beyond me, even though my teammates could be there.
Or it might have went on when you right after you left.
Always. Even if I'm out of the country just with boys. And I could be in, let's say, world-renowned Brazil.
Right.
The stuff don't happen with me and to me that can happen to people that's on the same trip.
He got you in the bubble.
Right. So it's like, even in this industry, as things can come forward, part of the reason why I think God selected me to kind of go forward in it is because he already know, one, I'm not afraid to acknowledge him. And that influence that I'm going to bring, I've always been an influencer. I don't get influenced. So I don't follow to follow. And because of the other things he's allowed me to do business-wise, there's no job that I have to take. I get to do this because I like it and it's fun, but not because...
It's not do or die.
And because I didn't grow up feeling like, this is what I've always wanted to do. I'm not so thirsty and hungry for it that I want to take any and everything, because it comes with a lot of zeros.
That's right.
But it's going to make me die to myself for them.
You can't give up your soul.
Correct. And I'll never do it.
So you know what? That's what I was about to say. Because you're not saying you're not hungry to be successful, because you're an achiever. I'm not saying that. But because you're not just caught up on, I gotta be rich. Because you know, this is what we both know. We've talked about this before. You don't have to come from that.
Yeah.
This could be something you do and you can do well at it. And you can become wealthy at it and not have to even sacrifice yourself like some people have. Meaning playing roles and doing stuff that would just morally not go along with what you want to do.
Right.
Or what you want to represent.
Right. And you have to remember, that's all in front of the camera. So if you want to make a lot of money in front of the camera, then you might have to do that. But if you study and you wise, you recognize the money is to create it.
Behind the camera.
Yeah, so for me, even though I haven't been doing this as long as some other people,
Right.
I have not waited to create movies. I have movies on Tubi now that I'm executive producer of. I have a series now that we're shopping and pitching now that we hope to land at some home soon. So it's like, even though I'm in front of the camera, I've already started maneuvering to make sure that I become one of those people
You're
that
the creator.
if I wanted to manipulate someone, now I become the person on the other side. The good thing is that I ain't looking to manipulate anyone.
Right.
But I'm not going to be the person constantly, please hire me. Please, I'll do anything.
Because you threw everything, you don't have anything else going on.
You don't have anything else
So
going on.
you're not thirsty like that.
And the strike hurt a lot of people because they don't have anything else going on. This was their breadwinner. And because this was their breadwinner, they don't have anything else going on. And like you said, I looked at it from when I was playing sports, playing football, to everything else. Even being a player.
Right.
It's the same thing. You still got to be hired and get paid. And that's why they say, well, all these athletes go broke after a certain, because the business acumen won't there. You go in those rooms, the president been president for 30 years. The secretary been there for 25 years. All these office positions for the Atlanta Falcons.
Administrator.
Arthur Blank, billions.
That's right.
But other players, in and out the door. In and out the door. Made a few, well, it looks to the world like made a few million. Once everybody got their cut, made a few 100,000. And then all of a sudden, they need a job and they don't have any real experience. Correct. So the real aspect is, well, how all these people that never played a down of football got 30 plus or legacy of money piled up owning the football team, being president of the football team, being general manager of the football team. The list goes on and on with all the office
Even
positions.
coaches, even like some of the offensive, defensive coaches, they have long-lasting careers.
And their
Yeah,
contracts
for
guaranteed. And see,
Yeah.
as an NFL player, our contracts aren't guaranteed.
Right,
So
you
that's
get
why
hurt.
people thought, oh, they being greedy because they're asking for this huge signing bonus or this guaranteed money up front. Only because that's the only thing you can assure yourself of before they cut you.
Yeah, what's
so
the
they don't
average
have to
life
pay
of
you.
the average player?
2.5 years.
See, I knew he would know that.
Yeah, so
See, 2.5
that's what they
years.
always tell you, NFL, not for long. So it's like, that's why that situation is like that. And even in Hollywood, yeah, a new face come on, it look like you can make good money real quick, but if you don't know how to invest it, you don't know how to put it behind anything, it's gonna go.
Yeah.
But if you're smart enough to create something, say when they did the Blair Witch Project, the Blair Witch Project was sub $60,000. It made hundreds of millions. One project.
I know.
$60,000. It made hundreds of millions. They haven't made a Blair Witch Part 2. They don't need to.
Nope.
So it's
And even things, hold that thought, man, even like, that's one of the revolutionary like movies where it was like a person like was making it like with a hand, like a camcorder.
Yep.
Right? So guess what? What's the production cost? Y'all in the woods, it's made to look shaky
Yes.
with a camcorder, right?
correct. On purpose.
So on purpose.
Yeah.
So the production cost, you say how much was in that movie?
60 grand.
See what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So it's like you can't just set your sight on, let me just be famous and rich, because very few people get to do that in front of the camera and have this pigmentation in this country. So you want to go beyond that and decide like, well, how can I get around that and be the creator? That's why during the strike, a person like Tyler Perry, as much as people can not like the quality of the stuff he's doing, but nobody could tell him anything because he's banking out at the bank. So at the end of the day, everyone else is on strike, but he's like, let me see, do I really need y'all to tell me when I can work? Because I don't need your studios. I have my own.
Oh, that's right.
I can bring the people in Atlanta to work for me. I don't need all SAG actors. I can use non-union actors. I have a homegrown product right here with my set crew. So they can film, they can do sound.
Even
I can keep going.
Actors he's had on he used like it's almost like a family.
Exactly.
He keep using
and
the
that's
same
how he
people.
did it. Even when he was filming, then he put them on a hotel or he put them on the property of his studio.
Right.
So during COVID, just stay here for the month and a half, isolate
on
right
campus.
here. We still going on. Everybody else locked down.
Wow.
He's still going because he understood, like, hey, if I get to this point and where I can get behind this and I'm creating it, I'm my own boss. You can't tell me when I can't work and can work. I can hire myself. I can fire myself, but why would I fire myself? So at the end of the day, we still running.
Strike didn't affect him that much. He was still producing.
Correct. And so when he came out of it, it's like when he can take those SAG actors, he started blessing a few of them. That's why you hear him say, like, hey, he gave me my biggest money I ever earned in Hollywood. And these people been #1 on the call sheet for 20 years. Just got paid the money they owe. So at the end of the day, if you keep asking to be hired, you'll never really feel like you're getting the value that you feel like you're bringing.
The discussion continues. Click the link below to watch part 2 of our talk with Actorpreneur, Stanley Aughtry.
The Power Up with Keith Withrow show is sponsored by Motor Coach Consulting International. Excellence in ground transportation.